Lego Dimensions. This was one of those kind of like real life figure video game things that were like really popular back in the early to mid 2010s. It was a trend that lasted for a few years, and there were quite a few games to utilize this formula. Skylanders and Disney Infinity were probably the most notable examples, and the base concept of these games was that there was physical releases like toys or figures, and those were things that you could buy and then you could utilize them in the game. So in the case of Lego Dimensions, you could get a starter pack which contained a USB pad, a little Lego portal thing you could build, and the starter characters Batman, Gandalf, and Wildstyle, as well as a Batmobile as well. And then you could put the characters on the pad and they would appear in the game as you see here. And you could also buy other character packs and level packs to get additional content in the game. And just like with other Lego games, certain characters would have abilities, so you would need to swap out your characters in game depending on the situation. For example, a puzzle might need a certain character to complete, that kind of thing. Except with Lego Dimensions, you actually had to physically buy the character rather than unlock them like in other Lego games, which is a concept I'm personally not really a fan of. You can see each level is kind of based on a different franchise, and you got like one for the Wizard of Oz, the Doctor Who level is there, Back to the Future one I think, and then you got Ghostbusters. You've got all these different ones, and as you can see, I never finished playing this game. I still had quite a few levels to go. In addition to this, you also got a bunch of additional level packs that you could purchase. So the one we're going to be focusing on today is the Doctor Who level packs, and then in addition to that, you also had these little open world hub areas that you could visit, and you would unlock them based on what character packs and level packs you bought. So yeah, if we head up this lift here, you can actually go to the kind of little hub area where you can go to all these different worlds. There's all these different portals all around here to all the different franchise worlds. And then yeah, you'd arrive here in the world and you'd have like a little open world hub area where you'd be able to explore, and there'd be like little missions and quests and collectibles and just all sorts of things for you to do. But there were small little hub areas, and you'd have one for each franchise. And I think in the base game from memory, because you have Gandalf, Wildstyle, and Batman, by default, you'd have access to the Lord of the Rings world, you'd have access to the DC world, and the Lego Movie world by default. Now, this trend of having toys and like little figures in real life and then mixing that up with video games, this only really lasted a few years or so. Like the Lego Dimensions came out in September of 2015. I bought mine in November when the Doctor Who pack came out, and I bought both the Lego Dimensions starter pack and the Doctor Who level pack in November because I really only got this to play the Doctor Who stuff because I'm a Doctor Who fan, and we'll be looking at that. The reason why these kind of games failed really to gain any traction was just simply the cost. Too expensive to kind of get into, and a lot of the game was locked away behind those physical purchases. And of course, now that these games have been discontinued, it's very hard to pick up any of the sets. So for example, I don't know what world this is here, but let's just use this example, the Scooby-Doo world. If you wanted to play this now, you are gonna have a hard time picking up the required Scooby-Doo pack to be able to play that and be able to play those characters. And it's the same with all the others. You can probably find them on eBay, I'm sure. And the Doctor Who pack included by default, you had the character of the 12th Doctor, who's popping in now. You also had the TARDIS, and you also got K9 as well in this pack. So the TARDIS and K9 were both rideable characters. K9 could shoot like lasers. The TARDIS you could fly around physically. If you hold triangle, you can go into the interior of the TARDIS where you'll have some Doctor Who themed music playing. But what was the cool thing about the Doctor is when the Doctor dies in this game, unlike other Lego games where the character just gets rebuilt, when the Doctor dies, he just regenerates. So, for example, if I just keep punching... Oh, fuck, I think I'm going to break the TARDIS trying to do this. Fuck, I did. If I just keep punching the Doctor, it's eventually going to force him to regenerate. He regenerates into whatever incarnation is next, and you'll have a little voice line. So right now, the Doctor's just regenerated into his first incarnation, the William Hartnell incarnation. And basically, the way it would work is every time you die as the Doctor, you regenerate into the next incarnations, and it'll just work their way through all the incarnations. So this is 2015, so It has all the incarnations from William Hartnell up to Peter Capaldi, including the War Doctor played by John Hurt as well. But what was the really cool thing about this is whenever you regenerated and then you jumped inside the TARDIS, the interior of the TARDIS actually changes to whatever the interior was for that incarnation. You can see with the first and second Doctors, it's really cool. The actual display goes all like monochrome. Basically, when you first started playing this game, you would have only the 12th Doctor unlocked, and then every time you die, you would unlock a new regeneration. So you actually had to work your way through all the regenerations to unlock them all. And another way you can change the TARDIS interior, regenerations and TARDIS interior, is actually you could go to this menu once you've unlocked everyone, and you can either just cycle through the regenerations one after another, or you can select whichever incarnation you like. So if you want to play as David Tennant, you can change to David Tennant and he will regenerate, and there you go, you get a voice line. And as you can see, the TARDIS hasn't changed yet. There are two ways you can change the TARDIS. You can either go outside the TARDIS and then you can jump back in the TARDIS and the interior has changed. Another way you could also change the interior was if you went to here and you changed, let's go to the 80s, let's change to the 5th Doctor, is you could just press this and the TARDIS will dematerialize, rematerialize, and then the inside of the TARDIS is now the new version. And of course there was one of these for each Doctor, which was really cool. So that's kind of the very basics of the Doctor Who pack and what you get with it. Like I said, you also get K9, and the TARDIS itself flies around really cool. You can use the left analog stick to kind of control the direction, and then you can change the height with the right analog stick. So that was fun. But there's also something else I liked, another little secret that you may have forgotten about later on that I want to show you guys as well. But for now, let's try out the Doctor Who mission. The Doctor actually appears in a couple of story missions, a Delectable Adventure, as well as I think the final mission of the game. I don't think I'm going to play those in this video just because the main story missions in this game were very long, and as you can see, I never finished the game, and the main reason why I never finished the game was just because I found each level to be so boring and repetitive. And here we go, we have an intro cutscene. We've got the Daleks invading Earth. And as you can see, they recreated the opening title sequence at the time in Lego form, or at least a version of it. And you have all the little doctors around the place. Now, I remember thinking this was so cool back when I played it the first time. What I find so interesting about this is futuristic apocalyptic London being invaded by Daleks. That seems to be the standard setting for video game Doctor Who, because it's been the setting multiple times now. It was a setting in the Eternity Clock, it was a setting in the Adventure games, it was a setting in this, and it was also a setting in the Edge of Time / Edge of Reality, and it always looks the same every time. Okay, let's figure out what we need to do next. What do I do here? We've got to Sonic this by the looks of it. So do we tap Sonic, and there we go. What I really like about this too is this came out, you gotta remember when this came out. This came out at a time when I think Series 9 was airing when this came out, but when this was made, the only characterization we had of the 12th Doctor was Series 8, and they really toned his characterization down for this game, and they kind of made him a lot more light-hearted and jokey. Wait, did that Dalek just come out of the TARDIS? What I remember about this was there was a lot of like little hidden secrets and references and things throughout the game. I probably won't go to them in this video, but you can look them up on YouTube to see all the different secrets, not just in this level, but in the story mission level as well. Okay, I think we can't do anything here, so I think we have to take the TARDIS and then press circle. What does that do? Where are we going? Okay, we're going to a different time period by the looks of it. Alright, here we are, modern day London. We're in the same spot. Oh, that's a feature of this game, by the way. If you don't have the character or the ability, you can in fact actually spend some studs and hire that character to do the job for you. That's pretty cool. And as for the gameplay is concerned, like it pretty much plays like any other Lego game. Like there's not much that plays any differently. I love that I can run them over like that. That's funny. Oh, so we're arriving back in the future. There's fucking Daleks everywhere, of course. Now, what's that change? We planted a tree, so that's now created... In the future, planting that tree has now created a little path for us to go, which is pretty cool. It's simple, but it's just cool, fun little ways that incorporate time travel like that make, I think, this work really well. I really like that they used music from the show as well. It just makes this so much more epic. Hang on, let's bring K9 into it. I'm pretty sure we need him to destroy the silver stuff. His laser. Oops. Yeah, I thought as much. There we go. I'm gonna get in the TARDIS. Where's the TARDIS? And that's another thing. If you lose track of something, for example, the TARDIS for us right now is all the way over in the previous area. So we need to summon the TARDIS to where we are now. So one thing you can do is if you lose track of your characters, whatever, if you hold down the character changer menu, you can bring up every character that you can use for anything. So we can summon the TARDIS here, and then the TARDIS appears through the portal. So let's take the TARDIS over here. We'll travel back to wherever it is we need to go. Victorian London's such a good... What is happening with the TARDIS? Why is this happening? Victorian London's such a good setting for like creepy stories. What I love about these games, like the Lego games, is they're just so chill to play. You know, like they're just a bit of fun. Oh, and if I can show you guys, I'll try. But like, I like how each Doctor has like their own little idle animations. Alright, now we've got to figure out where to go. Through the wall here. Alright. We can stealth past the cameras. That's fine. And here we are. And look where we are right now. We're at Todder's Lane. For those who don't know, Todder's Lane here is actually the location where from the very first episode of Doctor Who, where Ian and Barbara follow Susan, and that's where they encounter the TARDIS and the Doctor for the first time. The classic Lego mechanic of pushing things till they break. Oh fuck, I love Lego games. So what happens when we go through here? Oh, look at those windows. Those windows don't look very odd. Like the fog's not affecting the windows. That looks weird. Yes, this was back when the 12th Doctor used... Was that regeneration energy? Oh, we're on the Dalek ship. I actually don't remember this at all. I'm going to be honest with you. Why is the TARDIS here? I like that they lock him in a cell and the TARDIS is just there. Like, why? Okay, so we're at Trenzalore at the moment. And you can see we got a Weeping Angel. So are we going to have to deal with the Weeping Angels? God, I hope so. Fuck, Weeping Angels could make some really good video game villains. Hang on, do those Weeping Angels move? I wonder, is that scripted or do they actually move? I don't think they actually move. I think it's just scripted. But they were not there before. Oh shit, they do move! When they're off screen and you move to a different area, they move. Oh, that's cool. One of my favorite Doctor Who gaming experiences is actually doing the Weeping Angels level in the Edge of Reality. That shit was scary and that was awesome. That was such a fun experience. Oh shit, the silence! Oh my god, they've just come out of nowhere. I wonder how the silence mechanics work in this then. Like, is it if you get so far away from them, they disappear? Like this? Like, let's try it. Oh yeah. So you have to be directly near them. It's amazing how much of this I've actually forgotten. It's been years since I've played through this level. I don't remember any of this. This is actually a really long level. I didn't realize how long this was. Aquaman. Yeah, let's try this feature out. So yeah, so this allows you to temporarily get a playable character to do whatever it is you might need to do. And it costs you studs. And at least that gives you, as a player, it gives you a little taste of how those characters might work. And as you can see, they let you play as the character for quite an extended period of time. Oh, is this the Emperor Dalek or it's Davros? So this is his Emperor Dalek, I guess, kind of chair thing that he had in the classic series. So that's kind of cool. Oh shit. Okay, so what happened then? I need to explain what happened then because you guys can't see it. So basically the shield attacked us, right? So whatever pad I had the Doctor sitting on the USB pad, I had to move him to a different pad to prevent him from dying. That's basically what happened then. Okay, and then that's it. That's the level done. It was way longer than I thought it was going to be completely honest with you. So my main takeaway from playing that level is that I really do think this was a good proof of concept, and I think the basic mechanics of the Doctor really work and really translate to a LEGO style game. If you look at the recent LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, I think that the way that game is formatted with its open world hub areas and the ability to change character and do all that, I think that's the perfect example of a Doctor Who game. Is that gonna smash? TT Games are really missing something here by not making a LEGO Doctor Who game, and I get that a LEGO Doctor Who game wouldn't be as profitable as, say, a LEGO Star Wars, for example, and also I do not believe LEGO currently have the rights to the Doctor Who franchise, but I think it's a huge missed opportunity not to try and get those rights back and make something like this where you have a TARDIS, where you can change between incarnations. Maybe you could have some story involving different Doctors. Like, there's a lot of potential for a LEGO Doctor Who game, and I also think there's probably a lot of red tape that they've got to get through for it. And while we're in the TARDIS changing, here's something that's really cool, is if you change to the 4th Doctor actually has 2 TARDIS interiors in this game. So let's change to his standard one. So this is the 4th Doctor's standard TARDIS interior. This is what his interior looked like for a short time in the show earlier on. But what's interesting about the 4th Doctor is if you change the date on your console to be the 4th of any month, you're actually going to get a secret control room, which is actually his second interior in the show, the secondary console room, which is the wooden interior. And not only that, but the music changes to the music that plays during his regeneration. And this is the Gothic TARDIS interior. You've got all the wooden panels, you've got the kind of stainless glass displays there, the door over here, and yeah, this is the Doctor's secondary control room, which he used for a very short time. Anyway, let's head to the Doctor Who world. Alright, so the way each of these hub worlds work, usually you'll have, like I explained earlier, you'll have the open world, and then you'll just have a bunch of like little quests and collectibles and things like puzzles and things like that, right? The way the Doctor Who world works is it's a little bit different. The Doctor Who world itself is a hub world. However, there's all these various different places you could go, and that's how you can utilize the TARDIS in this world. So if we jump back inside the TARDIS, you can actually now use this central control panel here to travel to different locations. So we have 21st century London, 19th century London, Mars, Trenzalore, Telos, and Skaro. There's some kind of, I don't really know what the story reason is described, but there's some kind of like anomaly thing which is causing the hub world to be split up into different worlds, and you can actually connect them all together. So here on Skaro, as you can see, the TARDIS has just landed, but around here somewhere is a thing we need to destroy. You see these allow you to travel between different worlds. They're like little portals, but you see this thing over here. If we bring K9 into it, and we smash that, we can build these little things. I probably should have looked what things were called before I started explaining this. And then we need to change to wild style. And then if we use the Doctor here and get the Doctor to Sonic this, we actually destroy this little thing, which then will connect the Skaro world up with the main hub area of 21st century London. So that destroys, and as you can see, London is now appearing. And now the hub worlds are connected together, which means, we'll get in the TARDIS to do this, we can fly around. If we fly this way, we can just fly directly over to London. And you can do that with every single one of the hub areas. They all kind of connect together. And it's really cool because if we head back over here, the lighting in the skybox and the lighting and everything's going to change. It's really cool. I like that there's this little connectivity. It means you don't have to just constantly fly the TARDIS everywhere you go. Now, one thing that's cool, when you change to each Doctor, they each have their own voice lines. Now, obviously only Peter Capaldi recorded voice lines for this, and all the other voice lines are taken from the show. But I actually think it's this really cool thing, and each Doctor has like a couple of different voice lines when you change into them. There's a couple of different ones that play, and I also think there's a couple of voice lines that play during gameplay as well, and obviously they're all pre-recorded. But let's change to David Tennant because he is currently the Doctor, and he's not just the 10th Doctor, he's also currently the Doctor as well. So obviously this is a bit out of date. They only have one outfit for the 10th Doctor, all the Doctors, and I wish that you had the option to choose like a wardrobe where you can choose different ones. But another thing the open world areas all have, I'll show you this, is there's areas you need to kind of like rebuild using studs, and this is one of them. So this is actually the 3W, which is the place from the Series 8 finale. And if you go over here to this lady, you can actually pay her to restore the facility. So you'll pay her some studs and she will actually restore the facility. And then there's usually some kind of hidden thing you can do. So in this case, we can actually reveal the full office, and you'll see the water will disappear, and oh look, it's a Cyberman. And anyway, there's all these little areas around the map that you can rebuild, and they're actually identified on the map. But another thing that you can do in these open worlds is little quests. So we're going to go over here to Missy and see what she wants us to do. Okay, we've got some Zygons around the place. Interesting. I'm actually glad it changed me back to the 12th Doctor because I think it's kind of fitting that we do something with the 12th Doctor and her. So I'm assuming that's the red areas on the map. So let's head to the Central Street area. Yeah, over here. Hey, it's Jack. Wow, I didn't realize Jack would be here in this part. Interesting. Alright, and then anyway, we used Wildstyle here to find it. And it turns out Jack was the Zygon. We've got to fight the Zygon. Oh, I'm really enjoying Missy's dialogue here. By the way, just to emphasize, I have never played this before. This is the first time I'm playing this, and I think it's really cool. Alright, let's go find the next Zygon area. So it's probably here at the 3W, maybe over here, maybe? Yep. Oh, it's Strax. So obviously it's always going to be the Doctor Who characters, but I think it's cool that the Zygons actually turn out to be like Doctor Who characters. That's fun. Alright, so I've actually just gone around and linked all the worlds together. So as you can see, so here I am in central London once again, and as you can see all around me, all the worlds are now linked together. So some of the worlds that we haven't visited to yet, so if we fly over here, you actually have Mars over here. So this looks like the Mars base from the Waters of Mars story. And then if you head over here, we can then head directly into Victorian London. And as you can see, the skybox and the effects change, and you can fly up the river there to get to modern London, and then you can head straight over there. And then we've got Skaro over here, and you got the Dalek, which is pretty cool, and you can kind of fly around, and I just think this is really cool. I also like how they're all laid out as well. It all makes sense how they're laid out. Like you go from Skaro to Trenzalore, which both have very similar kind of looks to them. And then if you fly over the mountain just over here, you go to Telos, which is the home of the Cybermen. And more snow. You can't see anything. And yeah, and as you can see, I am also playing as Colin Baker right now, because as of the moment of recording this video, I'm actually watching the, I not long ago bought the season 22, I think it is, 22 box set, Colin Baker's first series, and I'm currently watching that, so I thought, to celebrate, I'd change to Colin Baker. I like that Vastra and Strax are fighting with us. That's pretty cool. I like that there's just a random guy just kind of sitting there being like, what's going on? No, I want to play as the 6th Doctor because the 6th Doctor hits people with his umbrella. I like how they also all have like a special move, and there's a couple of different ones the Doctor can do, which is pretty cool. Finishing him off with the umbrella. There we go. Look at that. Oh, okay, never mind. The game crashed. There's not much more to cover in terms of the Doctor Who world. It's pretty much doing these little mission objectives for different NPCs on all of the different little hub areas. There's various different things you can rebuild with different secrets and stuff. I wouldn't recommend, if you don't own LEGO Dimensions, to go out and try and get it. Like I said, like we looked on eBay earlier, it's probably going to cost you quite a bit to get what you need, even just to play the Doctor Who stuff, which is a bit of a shame because I do think they should have made some kind of like digital download for all of this stuff available, so you don't have to buy the physical sets to be able to play this content. But you know, I get why they didn't. That kind of defeats the whole purpose of the game. But I think we'll wrap this video up here for now. So thank you guys so much for watching and checking it out. out. If you did enjoy it, please feel free to drop a like, that would be super appreciated. And if you like this kind of casual retrospective content, then why not check out some of my other videos. We have scripted ones, we have other ones like this where we just kind of casually play the game and talk about it, and it's a fun, chill time. I also have other videos on my channel there as well, so it's a bit of a mix of things. It's all video game stuff I like talking about, so if you're interested, then why not subscribe and click the notification bell. I'm a new channel and would love to try and build some momentum here if possible, so it would be greatly appreciated. This is the first kind of Doctor Who related gaming content I've covered, but I would love to cover more Doctor Who games in the future, so definitely keep an eye out for that. So definitely subscribe so you don't miss out on that kind of stuff, and if you don't want to, that's okay as well. I just appreciate you being here. But that'll do it for now. I'll see you guys soon for something new.